All right, today we're going to continue our series, our educational series on cryptocurrencies and Bitcoins. And I believe that this space is incredible. It offers so much for our future. But however, the key to this is people becoming aware. Education has to take place. Why are these, in this current series, what is this technology all about? And what is the advantage to the technology? So we just did a video on what is smart contracts. And it's important to understand that smart contracts, I should have done a video on blockchain I've done a video on blockchain before, but I should have done a video again on blockchain, smart contracts, and dApps. And we're going to pick up with dApps today. But here's what's important for you to understand. A smart contract, which we covered in our last video, you can go back and watch that. Basically, it's an agreement. It's a very simple agreement. Imagine a simple program. If this happens, then that happens. And then there's some real world use cases for that. We talked about that in the last video. dApps are more of a software program, and dApps can be multiple smart contracts together to create more complex applications. Now, some people confuse the term. Sometimes those terms, dApps and smart contracts, are used interchangeably, but I don't think that's the best explanation. The very simplest way that I can explain it, that I can understand it and articulate it, is that dApps can be multiple smart contracts together. Let's go ahead and get into the article. What are dApps, you might ask? Imagine having your car working away, transporting passengers while you're at work. Imagine having your computer utilizing its space capacity to serve businesses and people across the globe. Imagine being paid for browsing the web and taking ownership of your arguably invaluable attention. Imagine the world like that. That world is not far away. A paradigm shift in the way we view software models is approaching. When Bitcoin, the first cryptocurrency, made us reassess our definition of store of value, it also revealed a sneak peek of the future, a world running on decentralized applications, dApps. These distributed, resilient, transparent, incentivized applications will prove themselves to be to the world by remapping the technological landscape. Understanding blockchain. Before we can even fathom what dApps do, we need to be familiar with this underlying technology, the blockchain. Put simply, a blockchain is a ledger of records organized in blocks that are linked together by cryptographic validation. It's a digital storage of consensus truth. The key is to understand that the ledger is neither stored in a centralized location nor managed by any single entity, hence its distributedness. Okay. This is important. This is the most important thing about this entire space, is that it is decentralized. So when I see projects that aren't decentralized, it always concerns me a little bit. The key is to understand that this ledger is neither stored in a centralized location nor managed by any single entity, hence its distributedness. Meaning there's no one person or one company managing it or running it. If you think about, for example, the iCloud. The iCloud is basically run and managed by Apple. So when you think about that now, or iTunes even, something that would be different than iTunes would be the torrent network. Now, obviously, the torrent network does run into some legality issues, but think about the torrent network. It still stores music. You can still download music and videos, but there's no one person managing the torrent network. That's decentralized. So blockchain is basically decentralizing all sorts of things. The block validation system results in new transactions being added irreversibly and old transactions preserved forever for all to see. Hence its transparency and resilience. Once open source software that leverage on the blockchain technology are called dApps. The birth of decentralized applications. As the concept is still in its infancy, there might not be one definition of what a dApp is. However, there are noticeable common features of dApps. Open source. Ideally, this is not 100%, by the way. However, the more open source dApps are, the better I think it is. Open source, ideally, it should be governed by autonomy, and all changes must be decided by the consensus or majority of its users. Its code base should be available for scrutiny. Decentralized. All records of the application's operation must be stored on a public and decentralized blockchain to avoid pitfalls of centralization. Incentivized. Validators of the blockchain should be incentivized. This is important. Validators of the blockchain should be incentivized by rewarding them accordingly with cryptographic tokens. Almost every cryptocurrency, crypto token, whatever you want to call it, has this feature. Hence, that's the only reason that the currency or the token or the coin exists. Protocol. The application community must agree on a cryptographic algorithm to show proof of value. For example, Bitcoin uses proof of work. Ethereum is currently using proof of work with plans for a hybrid of proof of work and proof of stake in the future. This proof of stake is extremely important. We'll talk about that in coming videos. That's what masternodes work off of, proof of stake. If we adhered to the above definition, the first Dapp was in fact Bitcoin itself. Bitcoin is an implemented blockchain solution that arose from problems around centralization and censorship. One can say Bitcoin is a self-sustaining public ledger that allows efficient transactions without intermediaries and centralized authorities. The Ethereum network, while both Bitcoin and Ethereum may be loosely defined as dApps aimed at solving real-world problems, Ethereum has a much bigger plan in mind. In Ethereum's white paper, it has stated that the intention of Ethereum is to create an alternative protocol for building decentralized applications with the emphasis on development, time, security, and scaling. You may think of Ethereum as, for the lack of a better analogy, the mother of dApps, armed with its very own language, Solidity. Ethereum enables developers to form smart contracts using the Turing-complete Ethereum virtual machine. With these tools available, developers made dApps that have real-life use cases ranging from asset management to resource planning. Examples of successful Ethereum-based dApps that have achieved millions of dollars in market cap include Golem, Augur, and Melonport. As I mentioned, this is an older post. Another one would be Proof of Weekends. I'll talk about that in a minute. As I mentioned in my previous post, each of these aspire to rewire the economy using blockchain technology and move us a step closer to the decentralized world. Successful Ethereum-based dApps. Golem. The Golem project aims to create the first global market for idle computer power, standing at a remarkable market cap of 220 million USD. Golem will release the first version, Brass Golem, in May. Brass Golem will be tested on its ability to tackle CGI rendering. Its first use case, if it turns out to be sustainably successful, CGI artists will be able to rent computing resources from other users to render an image quicker. Likewise, an idle machine can also accept tasks from other users. In light of this, frictionless sharing and pooling of resources may be a reality sooner than we think. Augur. Augur aims to combine the concept of prediction markets with the power of decentralized network to create a forecasting tool for potential trading gains. Standing at the market cap of about 200 million USD, Augur is currently still under beta test. Eventually, it will be able to feed real-world truths into other applications and establish itself as a blockchain of facts. Melonport. The Melonport protocol is a blockchain protocol for digital asset management. Participants can set up or invest in digital asset management strategies in an open and competitive manner. Using blockchain technology, time and costs are drastically reduced. By building an audible and visible track record, Melonport enables a never-seen-before competitive environment in asset management. Status. Status transforms your mobile device into a light client node on the Ethereum network and enables you to easily access Ethereum's entire ecosystem from anywhere within their messenger system. Users may send smart contracts and payments to each other. Server downtimes is no longer a problem as the app runs on a peer-to-peer protocol. Brave. By the way, this is an older article. Brave's already out. In a world where consumers struggle to be in control of their attention and privacy, Brave's value proposition seems rather unique. A shocking 60% of web page load time is caused by underlying ad technology. Brave browser makes web browsing fast and safe by shielding you from third-party tracking. On top of that, should you choose to support content creators by enabling ads, you may even be monetarily rewarded with tokens. This gives end users an unprecedented level of control. Argon is another ambitious project. It aims to disintermediate human trade and allows you to manage entire organizations using the blockchain. By removing geographical borders and paperwork, the Argon network aims to act as a digital jurisdiction that is extremely convenient for everyone to operate on. As seen above, each DApp intends to apply blockchain technology to its niche and take over their respective industries. Be it investment, technology, or governance, blockchain technology will permeate markets. Its omnipresence will grace the world. Being part of the Dapp revolution. Okay, this is important. The Ethereum blockchain will continue to expand as Ethereum gets under the mainstream radar. The recent rise in the price of Ether have brought along a new wave of interest in blockchain application. If you're a developer, there's no better investment than acquainting yourself with Solidity. Solidity is Ethereum's programming language for writing executable distributed code contracts. As you're reading this, corporations all over the world are scrambling to add blockchain developers to their ranks. Blockchain technology is growing a nascent industry in which opportunities abound. To kickstart a Dapp project, tells you to create a white paper, gain a following, start a crowd sale, bring your ideas to fruition, and basically it leads into starting an ICO. The birth of a new member or Dapp in the blockchain community is called an ICO. It is a fundraising event based on token sales that could potentially create huge gains for well-informed and daring investors. The keyword here is daring. In an ICO, the token value is arbitrarily determined by the startup team. This is a challenge. The token value is arbitrarily determined by the startup team. When the token gets listed on the exchange, the value is then corrected via price dynamics. Basically, what are people willing to pay for it? The eventual value will be settled on by the participants of the network other than the accredited agencies. No matter the accuracy of an ICO evaluation, the fact remains that ICO itself is a driving factor of interest and innovation in the blockchain scene. ICO is a much-needed catalyst in opening a well of possibilities extending the value that blockchain offers. How to participate in ICOs. This is important if you're going to attempt to invest in, and I talk about my own investments, but I, as a general rule, stay away from ICOs for lots of reasons. But stay up to date. This is important. Find out their Slack group, Twitter handle, official website. Keep up with their ICO announcements and plans. Prepare a wallet. Do not use an exchange wallet, as the address of the exchange wallet may change without you noticing. Some hardware wallets are not compatibility-wise ready for ICO tokens. This leaves making a wallet on My Ether wallet as a best option. Ensure that the wallet has the necessary amount of transfer, including the gas price, for example. If you wish to transfer 10 ETH for the ICO token, make sure you have more than 10 ETH inside your wallet to pay the gas fee. Oversights like these are common and will result in failure of purchase. Be on time. Some popular ICOs are over in an hour. To increase your chance of securing ICO tokens, be prepared to make the transfers as easily and as quick as possible. Safe, keep your tokens. Keep your wallet safe. Once the token is listed and available on exchanges, you may transfer your tokens from the wallet to an exchange to start trading. In choosing the right ICO to invest in, ask yourself the following questions. Are my investments safe? Preservation of capital should be the priority of the investor. And I think this is something that is underrated. Preservation of capital should be the priority of the investor. I think most people look at what are the odds of making big gains, or is there a chance this could go up, and not realizing that it's extremely risky. There's not a white paper in place. There's not a good development team in place. All they have is a big, audacious goal that they may not even be able to complete. And they may not have no idea of even how to remotely complete it. So I think that's the key. How close, I'll get to this in a minute. Preservation of capital should be the priority of the investor. Just keep that in mind. Can you trust the dev team with your money? Are you leaving your money with founders who were involved in scams? This is important. Are you leaving your money with founders who are involved in scams? Is there a long-term plan? Do you have the abilities and team make up the project demands? Is this just a well-marketed project? Sometimes all it takes is a professional-looking website for inexperienced investors to be sold. Will the team be able to deliver in its promises? What is my exit plan? As a high-risk investment, ICOs may require you to define an investment horizon or timeline. At which price point do you intend to exit? Does it hold a unique advantage? As the Dapp scene matures, newcomers with similar value propositions will join the market. What is the edge that this Dapp would have over future competitors? As it stands, the current ICO scene is massively hyped. To protect yourself from capital losses, perform the necessary research and pick your ICO with care. A decentralized Dapp future awaits. The inevitable onslaught of blockchain adoption will render numerous practices obsolete. It may be bold and distant conjecture, but services such as banking will be made redundant as the world learns to operate and finance itself by self-sustaining, trustless, decentralized networks. operate and finance itself by self-sustaining, trustless, and decentralized networks. This is the most important sentence. Blockchain technology, this is what makes it so incredible. And if you don't understand why we want a self-sustaining, trustless, decentralized network to operate, for example, our banking, then you really should watch a documentary called Money as Debt. Money as Debt. I'll try to link it down below this video. Money as Debt. Look for it down below this video. It's about a 45 minute documentary, but it explains this perfectly. Large corporations hurrying to secure their place in the blockchain movement is only a testament to that. Perhaps another topic worth giving some thought over: by outsourcing information and value transfer to the blockchain, we increase efficiency by reducing middleman services, but at what cost? As the services of humans can provide decreases and the value of a human erodes, can we say confidently that our lives will improve? No matter the answer to that question, we can only take the leap of faith with blockchain as the next step forward towards a world unified by shared data. This is an awesome article. One of the things that one of the dapps that they did not mention when they were going through their list right here, and it's because it came out after this article, is proof of weak hands. I'm going to talk about proof of weak hands in another video, probably my next video. I believe that this is an incredible dApp, and probably, as far as I know, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, better than all these dApps, and I'll tell you why. One of the issues down here that it talked about when it's talked about investing in ICOs, and I think this is investing in just about anything in the space, it talked about right here, be on time, so you, sorry, I passed it. I'm not seeing it right now, but it basically talked about, is the development and team able to take it to where it's going to go? Are they going to be able to do that? And I think one of the things that you'll find out is, can you trust the dev team? Preservation. Can you trust the dev team? Are you leaving your money with founders who were involved in scams? Okay. I think one of the things that you'll find out is that a lot of these ICOs and a lot of these, websites have tremendous goals. And yes, if they hit those goals, it's going to be phenomenal. What they're going to accomplish is phenomenal. However, currently at this very moment, most of them have very little to show towards their goal. Very little. Proof of weak hands came out. They did not have a, and you can come here, by the way, and on the wiki and look at, you can go to the website, I'll put a link below, click on the wiki, read through it. But they didn't have an ICO. They basically just had, kind of a soft launch. They just kind of went out there. And when they did, the project essentially already worked. They already had a working project. The smart contract worked. The mechanisms worked. Now the functions found what's going to drive it forward. They still had to implement all of that as far as what was going to take it forward, but the absolute base mechanics already worked. And they've already got several developments since its launch. It's already moving forward. The proof of concept is already proven. There's nothing else to prove there as far as this project, the proof of weak hands 3D or the P3D token. I'll put the link below and you can click here at the wiki. I'll have another video and I'll talk more about it in depth in another video as well. But thank you so much for watching. Don't miss that video. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up icon, hit that bell notification. And if you have any questions about smart contracts or dApps at all, please put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I love learning together. This is an exciting space and we're going to be watching some great things over the coming years coming out of blockchain technology. Thank you so much for watching.